In this video, we're going to talk about some of the blurring and sharpening tools. What I have here is an old black and white photograph that's, as you can tell, pretty damaged. We're going to see what we can do with some of the filters that we have available to us. If I go under filter, we have something called blur. You can look at, your regular blur filter. Let's look at smart blur down here. And it gives you this handy dandy preview image. The one thing I can tell you with all blurring and sharpening filters, any filter, what it does is it essentially softens the image. So you want to always use these in small increments and sort of take it from there. Usually less is better. See, if I'm reducing it and bringing back some of that sharpness, if I increase it a lot, look at what it does to the image. We really don't want to go for this look, right? So you can kind of play with these right here. That was the smart blur. There's something else called noise, dust and scratches. Look at dust and scratches. Again, I always have my preview button checked. If it's not checked, make sure you have it checked. And look at your values. Just kind of play with the sliders. Look what it did. And I didn't even do that much. So this is going to have to be in very, very small increments. Or there's something else that you can do. You can actually select an area, use one of your selection tools so it doesn't affect the image itself. Let's use the lasso tool and try and clean up. I'm going to select this background and then go to my filter, pick up dust and scratches. Now notice what happens when I play with these sliders. It only applied it right here. It left the rest of the image unchanged. So this may be a way you can play with this, is sort of isolate the area that you want to work on. We're going to talk about the cloning tools in the next video, so you can use these in conjunction. I'm going to select, deselect, which is your Command D is your shortcut for that. It's a quick and easy one. Another one is if you go under filters, there's something called sharpen. There are a few of these right here. Let's look at this one. There's that smart sharpen right here. Unsharp mask. Let's look at unsharp mask. This one, again, really you don't want to do an amount more than 100%. Really anything beyond that is going to be overkill. What it's going to do is exaggerate your highlights a little bit. It'll exaggerate your edges, so it'll look like it has a glow around it or something. So you want to do it in small increments. So say if I give it a radius, look what it's doing. So it's starting to look like it was photocopied or something, right? So maybe, again, you can use these in combination, but always use small increments. And it's always a good idea to use small increments, but do several of them rather than small sharpens, rather than one big one. You may get closer to what you're trying to achieve that way. Last thing I want to show you is, usually this is just a handy little shortcut amongst your filters, depending on what filter you used. The last one that you used will be right there at the top. So say I played around with this one, clicked OK. If I go under filter, I've got smart blur right on top. That's the last one I used. And we'll talk about our cloning tools next.